Newsom blaming Trump. Do you think this is sticking? I think woke is losing. I think a lot of these people are just saying, "Nah, dude, it's LA. We're like kind of tired of, you can't blame Trump because LA's been rioting for 30 years. Like it's
Right.
kind of getting a little tiring."
It's rioting, and also they have to lock up all of their CVSs. Everything has to
Yeah.
be behind lock and key. I think it's the history of rioting as well as just the overall degrading quality of life in LA and San Francisco and some of the major California cities because crime is up. I mean, I do think Gavin Newsom looked at this as an opportunity to really set himself up for 2028. I think that's his big objective right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he is coming off as the hero. I mean, he's basically trying to provoke Trump into engaging with him directly. Trump's kind of ignoring him, still moving forward with his efforts to send reinforcements to ICE agents and to settle the riots. And Gavin Newsom is somehow like, oh yeah, I don't like riots, but also we mostly hate Trump. And I think that's not really what people who are watching curfews be enacted and things like that want to hear from their governor.
Yeah, I mean, Luke, what do you think? I mean, I don't see a lot of now. The other thing is kind of a lot of woke sentiment isn't actually on X. It's kind of moved to Blue Sky. So I'm not as, plugged in to, exactly how, bonkers or how much support this stuff is getting. It doesn't seem like Newsom's getting a ton of support. I mean, I saw tweets he put out where he had like videos of him trying to sound tough. They had like 4,000 likes, 5,000 likes. Like, I think at some point you can only have celebrities telling their followers that everything's okay so long to where like eventually people are like, nah, dude, I'm looking out the window and like stuff's on fire.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's a bigger political force than he actually is. I think he really wants to be a big political force, but if you look at all of his actions, they're kind of hyperbolic, emotional, hysterical, and non-effective.
Yeah, female energy.
And it's like, you're arguing to continue riots? Really? I mean, you're arguing to stop Trump from stopping the riots, as you clearly couldn't do a good job at it. People are like, that doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really add up. And if you look at a lot of the people that are protesting, they're asked, why are you out here? And they're like, this is Mexico's land.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for 20 years in the 1800s.
Yeah, I guess it was for like 20 years, maybe, after they took it away from the Native Americans. I guess there was some Spanish influence here as well from the Spaniards. But that's really what you're arguing. It's always inconsistent. And it looks like, as people are asked, what are you doing out here? A lot of them are just responding like, I don't know. I'm just here to be with my community.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I don't think a lot of them even really care. I don't think a lot of them are even politically motivated. They just see an opportunity to go out there, have some fun, light some things on fire, and be a part of something. Since so many young people are lost and have no meaning in their lives.
Yeah, and I think it's about becoming more and more about race to motivate people to participate. Like,
the blacks don't even care.
Well, it's not necessarily black people, right? Like it's like this.
But they're mad. They're mad. The left is mad
are.
that the blacks aren't out with these people. Like, they're actually calling them out. Like, why aren't you out with us? We stood with you, and they're like, nah, dude, we're good. Like, we'll swing around later when the iPhone store closes.
Well, there's a lot of racial tensions between the blacks and the Mexicans too, especially in places like LA.
That's because they take their jobs. The black community is most affected by illegal immigrants.
And it's a myth from the left that anybody of any non-white race just automatically gets along because they hate white people, right? Like, that doesn't make a sense at all. And it's only worked in some progressive causes. I think the reality is that the riots in LA are quickly going to, like, every time I hear a left-wing person post about it, every single day the justification changes. So when they're mad that Trump is sending in the Marines, it's, oh, well, we could be spending this money on something else, on school lunches, on whatever. They're ignoring the fact that the riots cost cities billions, if not, well, at least millions, if not billions of dollars in damages, or it affects local small businesses, or it affects all of the people who live there. It's a kind of spin to justify being out there. And to Luke's point, I think there are people who are like bored, looking for something to do. I also think that there is this idea that if you don't stand with your community, then you are going to be othered. And that social pressure is really intense, especially in activist woke communities.
What do you make of his video last night? Did you see that, Luke? Where he's like, everybody wants to be California. Gavin Newsom.
Newsom's?
Yeah, he's like, the world looks to be like
on this broadcast, because I haven't seen that one actually.
Yes, we can. Did you see it at all, Hannah Claire?
I saw some clips of it, and what I thought was interesting is like they made a big deal, or at least it seemed like there was supposed to be a big deal made out of the fact that he was going to have this televised address. Again, I know I'm reiterating the same point over and over again, but he has his eyes on 2028. He doesn't care about California right now. He cares about his potential to get into the White House. But then, you know, it's not even that widely covered in mainstream news. It's not like it was some groundbreaking video statement that everyone's debating. Like, it's like, oh yeah, Gavin Newsom's over there talking. It might as well just be an episode of his podcast.
Yeah, it did not. It was mired with technical glitches. It was the formal address. We can play some of it here. I have it. He tries to act like, well, California is a country in and of itself, and we are the tastemakers.
Does think that, you know?
Yeah,
like
Californians think that. Yeah.
Right. And like they have, what is it? The second largest educational system, second to New York. So if curriculum gets implemented there, they are potentially influential on the rest of the states. But I think most people don't want to be held hostage by California. That's why whenever you get these people who move out to like Texas or Florida or whatever, everyone is like, please leave your California politics at home.
Yeah. Well, they also say that like, it is wild. I talked about this yesterday or this morning in a tweet. When you look at illegals, there are something like, you know, they're talking about illegals in congressional seats. And some people say California has as many as 10 million illegals. Every 780,000 illegals you deport, they lose a congressional seat. We already live under the unfair rule of California, like because of illegals. And Trump really needs to codify this. Like, so for people that don't understand, essentially they look at population and they include illegals, and then they use that number to calculate how many seats they get in the House. And because they're including 10 million people who aren't even citizens, we're getting, you know, they're getting 10 extra seats, 5, 6, 7 extra seats. And that shit matters when we're voting on stuff. Yeah. And like, this is something that Trump, I don't know if you can fix it, but I think honestly, now that I've been kind of edified on how that works, I think other than border security, that could be one of the most important things he does.
Well, like, it was one of the reasons it was such a big loss when we couldn't get a citizenship status question in the census during Trump's first term, right? Like if you had to ask people, like, are the people who live in your home citizens? Are you a citizen? And Democrats fought this, but it's because they benefit from inflating their populations with people who are not here legally for exactly what you're talking about, more influence in Congress.
Yep. Here's the clip, or a little. I won't play the whole thing.
I want to say a few words about the event.
I do love how they're trying to make this like
it's his major address, Jeremy.
His State of the Union. Yeah.
So the last few days. This past weekend, federal agents conducted large-scale workplace raids in and around Los Angeles.
Good.
Those raids continue as I speak. California is no stranger to immigration enforcement, but instead of focusing on undocumented immigrants with serious criminal records and people with final deportation orders, a strategy both parties have long supported, this administration is pushing mass.
That's also a nonsense thing. Like, well, they're not in a gang, so we shouldn't have. No, they already committed a felony entering this country illegally. Like, what are you talking about? The left is trying to shift this. Like, yeah, but Trump is only supposed to be deporting criminals. It's like, yeah,
but if you're here illegally,
they all
are committing.
Yeah,
that is against the law.
Yeah,
deportations, indiscriminately targeting hardworking immigrant families, regardless of their roots or risk. What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before.
Good.
On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people. A deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb.
What do they think? How does he think this plays with people who are unemployed? Or how does he think this plays with people that already overwhelmingly support immigration?
Yeah.
Luke mentioned it earlier. The left, immigrants, okay? Immigrants have shifted 40 points to the right on their views on illegal immigration. 40! This used to be a plus 32 issue on the left. It is to the Democrats. It's now plus 8 for Republicans. Immigrants, not racist white people. Like this is, I mean, I know you said he thinks this is like his big moment, just like he thought the wildfires were. I mean, playing up against immigration is a bad idea, especially when Trump keeps getting W after W. Like, he's going to negotiate something with China. I said it since the start. He said yesterday they've already got something. Yeah. GM just said they're going to invest $4 billion in moving factories back to America from Mexico. Like, this stuff works. And, like, by the time the midterms come around, people are going to see the fruits of this deportation effort and the tariffs and all this, keep our illegals. Yeah, I know. There's your abuela who just makes tortillas or whatever. And it sucks, but she shouldn't have come here illegally. Like,
that's the thing. Like,
I want her to be here, but she should have come here. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Like, I can have empathy for people who don't want their family separated or they're scared, but like, talk to an immigration lawyer. We're actually not that restrictive of a country on immigration right now. I would argue we should close some of the pathways to legal immigration, but that doesn't mean that there is not still time for you to figure something out. I mean, it's one thing to be like, the system is confusing. Yeah, I get that. And you can argue that there needs to be some kind of pro-immigration reform. I wouldn't agree. But to just be like, well, I came here illegally 50 years ago, and so I should get to stay here illegally forever, does not make sense. Like, there's no reason that you can't at least try to comply with the system. If you like this country so much, if you're so law-abiding, close the gap. Just try to find a way to get immigration status.
Yeah,
again,
there's multiple ways
for legal immigration.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to fill out the paperwork to go through the process to become a legal citizen. I mean, my family did it. We had to take a test, and
and we accept you now as one of our own.
Yeah, I'm even more patriotic than all of you.
Probably. Well, I doubt that. I don't see a giant American flag in front of your house, Luke.
There is, actually.
Is as big as mine?
Okay,
is your pole as big as mine?
Size measuring contest here, live on air.
Pretty big. Okay.
I had to get a variance from my city to allow my pole, Luke.
You got government permission. That makes you more of a slave.
Yeah, I do. Well played.
Very law-abiding of you.
Bootlicker. Yeah. Than me in the free state of Florida, just putting my pole out there for everyone to see.
Yeah, that is what they say about you.